Thought you'd seen it all in football? Fucking think again, because these are the craziest stories in football history. Starting with a crazy one. The murder of Andre Escobar. And no, he was not into drugs. I know what your thought process must be like. Escobar, Pablo Escobar, Andre Escobar. But I can tell you that they are not related, I think. Andre Escobar Saldarriaga was a Colombian footballer known as the Gentleman. You know, just a cool, fun guy to be around. As the captain of the Colombian national team in a World Cup group stage match against the United States on June 22, 1994, Escobar made a mistake and scored an own goal, which resulted in a 2-1 defeat. Own goals are shitty situations, but when it happens, everybody fucking moves on. Not for Humberto Castro Munoz and the Gayon brothers, crime bosses, who had placed a hefty bet on the Colombia-USA match, which they ended up losing. And to recoup their money, in the early hours of July 2nd, 1994, just 10 days after coming back from the World Cup, Escobar met some people outside a club in Medellin. An argument started, with Escobar explaining that his own goal was a mistake. This wasn't enough for the assailant, Munoz, who kept shouting goal as he fired a .38 caliber pistol 6 fucking times at Escobar, killing the footballer. Munoz was arrested and received a 43-year prison sentence, serving only 11 years and released on account of good behavior. The Gayon brothers too, despite being well connected to powerful Colombian leaders, got sentences for trying to hide the crime. While the second round of the World Cup was starting, Escobar's funeral had thousands of Colombians following his casket on a 10-mile procession to the cemetery where he was laid to rest. This second event was so crazy it was borderline comedic. Bayern Munich, in preparation for the 2023-2024 season, had a pre-season friendly with FC Rottach-Egern, a team from the 9th tier. The result? 27 goals to fucking nil in favor of Bayern. I understand that this is fucking Bayern, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and of course this was a fucking friendly. But to score 27 goals against a team in 90 fucking minutes is crazy. Bayern had 13 different players on the score sheet, and 3 of those players had 5 goals apiece. That is crazy. In 2019, Bayern faced the same FC Rottach-Egern, beating them 23-0. Fucking hell, this team keeps getting whitewashed. Now imagine you're Southampton coach, Graham Souness, in 1996, and you are looking to sign an additional striker. Then, while waiting, you are approached by a man who claims to be Georges Weah's cousin and a professional. Georges Weah just won the award for the best player in Europe in 1995. You're probably like, holy shit, Georges Weah's fucking cousin. And of course, you're not an idiot. So you ask Ali Dia, this so-called Georges Weah's cousin, to allow you to speak to Georges Weah himself. Shortly after, you receive a phone call from someone claiming to be Georges Weah himself. This caller confirms that Dia was his cousin and had an illustrious stint at Paris Saint-Germain and some international appearances. So naturally, you were convinced and gave Dia a 1-month contract. Dia's Southampton debut came on November 23, 1996, against Leeds United, where he replaced the injured Matt Le Tissier as a substitute. But surprisingly, from the sidelines you could tell, this guy Dia wasn't good enough. In fact, his performance was so fucking poor you had to substitute him out of the same match. You then discovered that the supposed Georges Weah call was completely dubious and a hoax, and Dia wasn't actually a professional footballer and didn't even possess the barest footballing talent. Well, you can come to your own conclusion, but Graham Souness, their Southampton coach at the time, cancelled Dia's contract just 14 days after signing him. Dia moved on to continue his career in lower-tier football leagues in France and Germany, and experienced unsuccessful trials at Gillingham, AFC Bournemouth, and Rotherham United. He underwent a trial with Port Vale, where he scored twice in a reserve game against Sunderland. However, no contract offer materialised. Dia joined Blythe Spartans, a non-league club. However, his time there was brief, marked by a solitary substitute appearance in a Northern Premier League game against Boston United on November 9, 1996. With With the lies and deceit, Dias' footballing career was filmed with underwhelming performances. Surely there can't be anything crazier than that. Shockingly, there is more. On the 18th of October 2013, Stefan Kiesling of Bayern Leverkusen was playing against 1899 Hoffenheim. After seemingly missing the target with a header from a corner kick, Kiesling was naturally disappointed. But to his fucking surprise, he was bundled up by his teammates in celebration just a few seconds later. However, closer inspection showed that the ball had actually gone into the net through a gap in the side netting. Despite the initial oversight, the goal stood, and fans and football officials started losing their shit immediately after. After the match, a DFB inquiry uncovered a communication failure, revealing that the assistant referee had attempted to signal for an earlier incident, while the referee mistakenly assumed that the assailant had observed the ball entering the net. Honest mistake, so a rematch was ordered, which Bayern Leverkusen won convincingly with 5-0. It's one of the reasons why in 2018, the video assistant referee, VAR, was integrated into footballing official protocols. What is next? What about a crazy match that etched itself into footballing legend? Sometimes a whole football match would be boring, but a small pocket would create the opportunity for an extraordinary conclusion. For example, in the matchup between Watford and Leicester City, the last 19 seconds was an absolute mindfuck. Watford's Premier League aspirations hung on the Championship playoffs after failing to secure an automatic promotion spot. In the first leg of the semi-final against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium, Watford suffered a setback, conceding a goal from David Nugent's header, resulting in a 1-0 defeat. 3 days later, in the second leg, Watford took the lead just 15 minutes into the game, and by the 65th minute, they were leading 2-1. However, since there was an absence of the away goals rule in the playoffs, the game entered extra time until the dying seconds of injury time, when Anthony Knockaert fell in the penalty area under minimal pressure, leading referee Michael Oliver to point to the spot. Knockaert took the penalty himself, and goalkeeper Manuel Almunia caught it, initiating a rebound, which a Watford player cleared up the field. This was where everything went batshit crazy. A counter-attack had started from the clearance with superb control. Anya set up Fernando Forestieri, whose cross found Jonathan Hogg at the back post. Hogg deftly headed the ball back to Deeney, who wasted no time scoring a fantastic goal. The result, pure, undiluted chaos. Talking about chaos and dramatic ends to football matches, who could forget Aguero's late goal during the 2011-2012 season that won Man City their first Premier League title since the 1967-68 season? Playing the final match against QPR, this unforgettable moment is etched in Premier League history as one of the most iconic moments in the history of English football. Since the final matches of the Premier League were played simultaneously to avoid unfairness, no one was prepared for the drama it would cause. Man City and Man U were tied for the title, with the same fucking points and goal difference. Clearly, there was no way to separate the two teams as clear winners, save for the result of the final match. Man City faced QPR, who simply needed a draw to remain in the Premier League. By the 66th minute, QPR was 2-1 up, and it looked like Man U, who were battling Sunderland at the same time, had won the league. But the last 5 minutes was about to rewrite the fucking story. Dzeko got Man City's equaliser in the 92nd minute. At this point, Man U had won their match, but Man City QPR still had 3 minutes left. In the 94th minute, Balotelli's heroic struggle in QPR's box pushed the ball to Aguero, who, despite being nudged by an opponent, hit the ball into the net, and hence that iconic celebration that was made into a statue. As the final whistle echoed through the stadium, jubilant City fans flooded the pitch in celebration. QPR was devastated. Man U could not believe what the fuck just happened, and the entire footballing community was just shocked. In post-match interviews, City manager Roberto Mancini expressed his astonishment, stating,
Never. Like this, never. It's incredible. I don't know what I can say.
The BBC deemed it a truly remarkable piece of football theatre and the most dramatic conclusion to a season in Premier League history. Crazy, and crazy. But we can't finish without mentioning Messi's 91 fucking goal haul in the 2012 calendar year, scoring for both Barcelona and the Argentina national team. Messi broke Gerd Müller's record of 85 goals for Bayern Munich and Germany set in 1972. Leo's tally of 91 goals was achieved across 69 official games, comprising 79 goals in 60 appearances for Barcelona and 12 goals in 9 matches for the Argentina national team. This monstrous version of Messi was scoring an average of 1.319 goals per game. This crazy record will probably stand for decades before it will be broken. That is, if it ever is. But of course, this is football. One can't be crazy enough to say it can never happen. Please like and subscribe. There is a lot more crazy stuff for you football lovers.